Before the skyline, before the bridges, before the lights that never turn off, there was forest. Long before it was called New York, Manhattan was home to the Lenape people. Rolling hills, rivers flowing freely, dense trees stretching to the horizon. The land was alive, quiet, untouched by steel or stone. Then, in the early 1600s, ships appeared on the horizon. Dutch traders arrived, sailing across the Atlantic in search of opportunity. They called this place New Amsterdam. What began as a small trading post near the southern tip of Manhattan slowly grew into a settlement. Wooden houses rose from the earth, windmills turned in the breeze, ships filled the harbor. A fort stood watch over the island. Trade connected this small colony to a growing global network stretching from Europe to Asia. A simple wooden wall was built for protection, a defensive barrier made of logs and earth. That wall would give its name to Wall Street, but power shifts quickly. In 1664, British ships entered the harbour. Control of the colony changed hands. New Amsterdam became New York, named after the Duke of York. Empires changed, flags changed, but the city kept growing. Harbours expanded, trade intensified, streets filled with merchants, labourers, and families chasing new beginnings. In the 1800s and early 1900s, millions of people crossed oceans to reach these shores. They arrived with hope, with determination, and often with little else. They filled crowded tenements, they worked in factories, docks, markets, and construction sites. They built neighborhoods brick by brick. They carved out communities in every corner of the city. The city grew upward. Wood gave way to stone, stone gave way to steel. Engineers and workers dared to imagine something impossible, bridges that stretched across rivers. The Brooklyn Bridge rose as a symbol of ambition, connecting boroughs and proving that the city could overcome its physical limits. And then came the skyscrapers, men balanced on steel beams hundreds of feet above the ground, with no safety harnesses, with no fear, just grit. They lifted Manhattan into the sky, one tower, then another, then another. The skyline transformed into a forest of steel. Factories hummed, subways roared beneath the streets. Lights began to glow long after sunset. New York was no longer just a port city. It was becoming the center of finance, of culture, of media, of dreams. Through wars, through economic crashes, through hardship and triumph, the city adapted, it rebuilt, it rose higher. Neon lights replaced lanterns. Broadway lit up the night. Times Square pulsed with energy. Skyscrapers pierced the clouds. From above, the city became a masterpiece of human ambition. Central Park, carved into its heart, rivers wrapping around its edges, towers rising like monuments to determination. What began as forest became fort. What began as fort became harbour. What began as harbour became skyline. New York was never built in a single moment. It was built by hands, countless hands, by traders and carpenters, by immigrants and engineers, by labourers on steel beams, by dreamers who believed the city could be bigger than it was yesterday, and it still isn't finished. Because New York is not just a place, it's a constant act of becoming. From wilderness to wooden wall to world capital, the city never stopped building. It only kept rising.